Welcome, everybody, to the Sales Unscripted podcast. My name is Brian Neal.
And I'm Margaret Henny.
We're here every week, as you all know, kind of. We missed a couple weeks. Did we miss a couple weeks?
We did. It was the
but
holidays.
This is fun. It is the holidays.
Yeah.
What is this, Margaret? Why is this a fun day?
This is...
Say. It's a drum
Is
roll.
that too loud? That's
no,
a drum roll.
It's fine.
It's our 100th episode.
It's unbelievable. This is recording, right? Our 100th episode. You think you know?
Be.
It's our 100th episode. So isn't that fun? Now, you were just saying that it went so fast.
It went so fast.
Isn't it crazy?
It feels like it was just maybe 6 months ago that you were like, I think we should start a podcast. You called me.
Wasn't even my idea. Customer's idea.
I know, exactly. We did a webinar together.
Yeah.
So for our longtime listeners, you guys know the story. But for anybody who's new, the reason or how we started this podcast is we did a webinar together. Yep. We had great chemistry. We had good banter because we're kind of like opposites in some ways, but also alike in others.
Very respectful.
And people were like... you guys should do a podcast together. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. What a thoughtful idea. You called me and asked if I wanted to do it. And I was like, are you serious? I was so flattered.
Oh, that's
nice. I was really blown away.
I was flattered you said yes.
Well,
that's
here we
fun.
are.
There we are. 100 episodes later.
Yay.
It's been super fun. Isn't podcasting fun, though?
I love it.
Everyone that's listening to this, you are a salesperson more than likely. And at some point, you've got the inkling to do a podcast. You're like, I should do a podcast. And we're here to tell you, you should.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's really not that difficult. And you don't have to have the things people think. Like, well, you guys are real witty and funny. And like, no, we're not.
Not
Margaret
really.
is. I'm not.
Not really.
You just need to talk.
We
it
just
doesn't
laugh
matter.
at each other's dumb jokes.
That's
basically.
true. That's actually very true, which I'm very proud of. Anyone that laughs at my jokes. That's one of the, people asked me. Someone asked me the other day about listening to my own podcast. I go, I really don't.
No,
I really don't.
I don't anymore.
And then when I will, though, is if we're on a long flight, I'll listen. Yeah, and Steph will be, and I'll start laughing at myself. Yeah. I'll think I'm funny, and I'll be shaking. You like shake on a plane because you can't laugh out loud, and then I'll hold it up, and it'll be like the podcast. That's me. Yes, you hear what I just said? Listen to me. Listen to what I say. I'll take my my AirPods out like here. Listen to
I love it. Okay, to be
Little
fair,
vanity.
I did that when we first started because I was like, oh, that was a banger episode.
It was good,
I'm gonna
wasn't
put it
it?
on in my car and re-listen to it. I just felt
love
so
it.
proud of it. So.
As you should, because most people, the vast majority of people never start. Those that do, you know what the break point is for podcasting?
You told me this once and I kind of forget. Is it 10 episodes?
20.
20. Okay.
About 20 episodes. 18 to 22, I think, is the break. And you can fact check that. It's about that. Most people just stop there. Like 98% of the people that stop after that. And here we are at 100 episodes. We're in rare air, girl.
I know.
Rare air.
And
for Sales Unscripted.
You said the same thing to me too. You were like, most people don't. All we have to do is be consistent and just keep going.
That's it.
And I'll tell you what's really fascinating about it. Besides the fact that I love doing it, it's so much fun. You and I get to catch up.
It's awesome.
It also actually helps me work through some of my ideas. I will test stuff on YouTube and be like, hey, this is something I'm actually struggling with. Let's talk through it. It's like sales therapy.
So good. It
It's
is
awesome.
It totally is. So good.
Yeah.
Now, and you can also say your work accomplishment. I think all our listeners should, that you just
Oh,
told me about, so they can go see it.
Go
see
look
Margaret's
at it.
work.
Oh my God. I wish it's not all me, but it's our team at Co-Video. And we redid our brand. We did a whole new website. And I have to tell you, humble brag, it is beautiful.
It really is.
So proud of it. So go check it out, covideo.com.
You should be super proud of it. And
you.
I was amazed because my first question was, who did this? And I didn't mean that bad about you. But usually people use an outsourced, place to go. And you did it. Y'all did it yourself.
We did.
It's really great. It was covideo.com?
Covideo.com.
Covideo.com.
Yep.
Go see that.
I will give a shout out to it. So we worked with this group called 500 Designs. They're based in California, and they helped us with the rebrand. They were awesome. So in terms, because we needed someone else to help kind of talk to customers and distill stuff and what are we trying to get across, all this sort of thing. 500 Designs, shout out to them. They did such an incredible job with helping us. But then we took it and we ran with it. We created the website and the pages and all the functionality. So I'm also very proud of my team.
You should feel good. And I think the coolest part, one of the coolest things about being a marketing. So salespeople have scoreboards. We get commission.
Yes.
Marketing people don't really have that. You do, but you don't. And so you really don't.
So true.
And so, other than you get bitched at because the leads suck. Like,
Totally.
oh, you guys suck. So to be able to be a part of any website relaunch is cool because you see your work. And you know what? Whether you're at Co-Video for 100 years or 10 more minutes, You did that. You remember how it started. Isn't that cool?
That's so true.
That's a great career accomplishment. It really is. It's awesome. Bravo to you. It's really good. And we're recording this 100th episode in the dead of winter in January.
So cold.
Indiana is so fucking cold.
So
my
cold,
God.
dude.
It's angry cold. Does it make you angry? And I'm not angry. You're not really an angry. It's not one of my emotions.
No, but you will get pissed and
get angry.
Okay, this is I love to ask people this question. If you guys are cold, everyone gets into a cold car and you have a sound you make. What is your cold car sound you make? Let's hear it.
I gotta sit. Yeah. So
I'll give you mine. I get in the car and I go. Okay. It's like a horse.
I don't do a horse.
Someone
did a horse here in the office the other day about that. They did a. I go, why the horse sound?
Cold.
No, I'm probably a little shorter than that. I'm probably like, oof, like a oof.
Yeah, it's just.
Right, it's like a disgust.
So cold.
It's a disgust. And your husband is from Southern California.
Yes.
So God bless him.
I know. God bless Derek.
Take me back.
Poor guy.
Oh my gosh.
I know. He withstands it though. I don't know what the deal is. He has really become a Hoosier and embraced it.
That's good.
I think it has something to do with him being an introvert. Like when I told him during the winter, pretty much people just hibernate.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm built for this. This is perfect. I've been training for this my whole life.
That's good. So. That's really good. Yeah, instead of having to go out and go on a walk by the beach and talk to everybody and say everybody.
I know. Yep.
So we're going to talk today just about some lessons or observations or things that we've learned in 100 episodes. What have we learned from doing 100 episodes of a sales podcast with Margaret and Bryan? It's really, really good. And we'd be remiss if we didn't shout out to speaking of California, the shit going on out there is fucking Armageddon. You don't even know what to say, do you?
Devastating.
Oh
I can't even look at it.
You can't even look at it. It's awful. Yeah.
You know how we had our wedding real quick before we move on to happier things. We had our wedding out in California. And I had a handful of vendors who were from Southern California. One of them was my florist. She lost her home and her business.
My God.
You're
like, what the fuck?
What do you even do?
I know.
I mean,
it's unbelievable.
It's so yes, our hearts are with you guys and thinking about you because it's just
I just can't
terrible.
even imagine. Can't even imagine. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk about, 100 things. Not 100 things.
Oh my God.
A little pressure
we're
there.
We're going to be here forever. What have we learned?
I texted you this. I've got 50. You don't have 50?
Shut up. That's not funny. Okay. I will play off of that then. One of the things we've learned is I will tell you what, because sometimes I will think throughout the week, what should we talk about?
Yeah.
I'll write little notes down, whatever. And I'm convinced it's going to be this amazing topic. We're going to have all kinds of things to talk about. Honestly, the best episodes we do are the ones that we just pull out of our butts.
Well,
right? That we're unscripted.
Sales unscripted.
No, I know.
It's true.
And I'm I have no idea what direction this is going to go. And then we just start bantering and talking through it. Those are our best episodes, 100%.
See, that's good. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. There's a good lesson. I'll give you one of mine. That starting is the most important thing in all things.
Amen,
starting
amen.
is the most important thing in all things. Whether you want to start getting your faith life in order, your health, your business, you want to go make calls or whatever, starting is usually the hardest part and the most important part.
That is 100%. I can't remember who told me this. It might have been my father, but probably someone else. But he was like,
go Fred.
I know, Fred just knows these things. He was like, the worrying is worse than the doing.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean? Saying. You have something on your shoulders and you're just I got to get this thing done. And it follows you around like this heavy shadow, right? But then the doing of the thing is not even that bad. And I'm like, you can really put a salve to this worry by just doing the thing.
What's a salve?
Oh, a salve is like an ointment.
Oh, that, yeah. But I've never heard it used to a salve.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a doctor thing.
Well, I guess. Or an elixir.
Is it salve? What is salve? Is salve just salve said a different way?
Salve. No, it's like a
salve.
Salve
yeah, I know.
It's
it's an ointment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, put some salve on it.
But
I always thought it was salve. It's not salve. I don't even know.
You know what? Now I don't actually know. Is there
it's
an
okay.
L?
I thought there is an L in it, but I thought the L was silent. That's a good thing to look up. I think that's really
okay. It probably could be. Damn it.
Salve. Oh, it's so funny. Go ahead. You got one?
I do have one.
Please.
It kind of builds off some of the things we've already been saying here, but along with trust the process and just doing the thing, is when we first started at this, the idea of continuing to have to, come up with ideas, I was in some ways at first operating from this like mindset of, what is it called when you have abundance?
Oh, yeah.
I was,
That's good. Well done.
I was not in an abundance mindset because I was like, I'm going to run out of ideas. How can we keep this going? Just trusting and keeping to like doing the thing and on a schedule. And I have to say, you have been really good. Like you and your team, you send me calendar invites and you're like, this is when we're doing the podcast. And sometimes we have to reschedule and that's okay. But like your team has helped drive it forward by putting it on the calendar. So thank you, BZ team.
Thumbs up. But that's good because that's another thing that happens. People lose discipline to things that they're good. That's what, and it sort of fades on them. And you got to stay consistent on the calendar. I learned that from my coach, David Meltzer. You got to be a student of your calendar. It's kind of a sidebar lesson.
I love that.
Let me see. One thing that I learned is, and I think this comes with a customer relationship. Mm-hmm. You said earlier, we're kind of opposites. Like a lot of things, if you know us as people, are very opposite the way we see the world. Some of our belief systems is very opposite. And we get along like blissfully
famously
well. Yeah.
Yep.
So with customers, you can have the same thing. My therapist calls that interdependence.
Okay.
Interdependence. It's where two individuals can be whole and separate and still be together. It's good, isn't it?
Love that.
And so I think too often we try to over-adapt to customers.
Yeah.
And like I try to be too much like you and you try to be too agreeable. And we're very comfortable saying, no, I don't see it that way, Neil. I'm sorry, Margaret. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that's in selling. I think that's a lost art or maybe never been an art that people are they try to chameleon to the customer. They're taught things, like sometimes
the mirroring. I was just going to bring that up.
Right?
Yes. You got to be careful with
bad
that.
intention. Yeah. So just, I just, that's something I've learned really well working with you is that you can have two people that see the world and we're not like totally opposites, but a lot.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's awesome.
I know. And you can still come to like an agreement and figure things out.
Yes.
And you can, have your own ideas and agendas, but as long as you're coming to it, with from a good, honest standpoint, then you can really accomplish a lot.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
good job.
I love that. Great
I said,
one.
good job to me.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good
job, Brian. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
I love it.
I'm a praising, like I praise people.
No, I do the same.
Yeah. And I was like praising you, but it was my idea.
I'll tell you something that I learned being in theater because I'm like really big into active listening mostly because I think I have empathy for people who are performing or in front of other people.
Yeah.
And so I do a ton of like,
oh, you're a nodder.
I smile
my
and
faves.
I nod because I'm trying to encourage people. And sometimes I look like an insane person.
As a keynote speaker, and I'm kind of active right now on keynote speeches. I'm very active. I just got back from one. It's so funny to see those people in the audience. It's awesome. They make you feel better. Yes. Ask any keynote speaker. The nodder makes you feel good.
Right? Well,
there was a guy sound asleep in my speech the other day.
Son of a bitch.
It was so close to calling him out because I don't care about that stuff anymore. I used to worry about that. And I give away money in my speech. I'm like, hey, I missed it. I saw it. I'm like, I got to say something. I'm talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I give away money. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I want to give that guy $20 for being asleep. I didn't want to embarrass him. That's what took me away from it. My empathetic. I don't want to embarrass the guy.
Yeah. That's so true. Because you never know what was going on with him. When is
catching flies,
like,
mouth wide open.
Oh, son of a gun. Okay, that is rough when you're up there giving it your all too. And you're like, all right,
and I get it.
People.
And it was the people were out late, one of those sales things, party
totally.
people. I'm like, I have a little nap on my dime. No big deal.
As long as you're still getting paid for it.
Yeah. You got another one?
I do. This is one that is just like I learned from the BZ team. So I actually love when we do this because I get some like great refresher because you guys may or may not know this, but I used to be in sales. Now I'm in marketing.
Yep.
A lot of my sales training came from Bryan and the BZ team. And I had all these great aha moments through it. And one of them was CFDs.
Oh, good.
Clear future dates.
Good.
I just love that like when we're on these and having these conversations. So whether you guys decide to do your own podcast or to do some like practice with your own teammates while you're doing, cold calls or running fake demos or whatever it is, it helps because it brings up things that you might have forgotten that was a secret sauce before that you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about CFDs.
Yes.
I need to add that back in. And so it's a great like refresh trainer for me too, because you bring up things that I've like forgotten about.
That's good. No. And we all have those, don't we?
Totally.
Things pop up. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that forever. It's really, really good. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'll say it's kind of like piggybacks on my last one though. I have learned over 100 episodes of this and doing podcasting that staying open to learning and growing new things is a really good way to be.
Oh my God.
Because you don't realize this, but I learned as we're doing this, I'll learn something, or you'll give me a marketing thing, or it'll be a generational difference thing, or whatever. It just opens your eyes and makes you think. And I think too many salespeople, they have so much pressure to go get and find and close and that sort of thing that they don't leave space to learn from. And
that's good.
This is a great mechanism for that. Like you said, it makes you think. It makes me think. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Or if you bring a topic up that we haven't prepped for, I'm like, it forces your brain to stretch itself.
Right. And what is my stance on this?
Yes. And I think too many salespeople get so rote and repeat on product knowledge and things like that, or the way they're Sandler trained, or they're medic, and that's all they do. Yep. And that isn't the end all be all, and things change and evolve. So I like that part of doing this. And
you can find things that resonate with you too. Cause I was in sales at another company before and did different training. And I was like, I don't think I'm cut out for this. It was not aligned, at least the way that I was taught or some of the leadership that we had. I was like, man, these people don't have great intentions. And I saw it as a reflection on me that I was like, I'm not meant for sales. And then not to pat you on the back too much, but I'm serious. It was a revelation to be like, I can be proud of myself and do sales and have integrity for it. I was like, this is what I've been missing. Good. This is good. So,
have you ever talked to Stephanie Neal about that? You should. She's on this mission. I should
tell her.
She's on a mission. Okay, girls, gonna talk to the girls. She is on a mission. We're running into a lot of young women, and you're in the mentor age now. Unfortunately, right? She is too.
I love it.
Mentor age.
Embrace it.
And that don't want to even entertain the idea of getting into sales for the reasons you just said. Yeah. And they don't realize you don't have to be all these things you think you have to be.
Nope.
You don't. She's got like 3 of them she's talking to right now, like young women looking for jobs or right out of college. Like, definitely not sales. She's like, why? And they tell her, and it's like that. Well, it's you're manipulative, or you lie, or it's like, no.
Oh my God.
No.
Exactly. That gives me creepy crawlies all over, because that is the opposite. I totally understand that is a perception that people have, but I think you and I have been doing this so long too that we kind of forget that people still have that very old idea about what it means to be in sales.
Yes.
And not only does it not have to be, it shouldn't be.
If you're, amen to that.
If you're feeling that way,
well said,
things should change immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. You should get out of it.
Yes.
Is right. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
What else you got?
What else have I learned? I'm like, have I learned much? Oh, actually, here's something that was really surprising to me. This is more for us. But the minute, this sounds like a little braggy at first, but the minute we started doing this, I was like, I'm made for this.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, it felt like it wasn't even work. I felt guilty. Like I needed to get back to the office because I was like, oh, I've just been playing and having fun and doing a podcast with Bryan. But I'll tell you one thing that was really surprising to me, being an old theater gal. We've done a couple in-persons. They were so much harder than us doing this in the studio. And I thought it was going to be opposite day. Funny. I was like, I'll feed off the crowd. That'll be so much fun. And it was fun, but it was more intimidating than I expected it to be, actually.
Interesting.
That was a surprise for me.
Yeah. It's funny because you see this, I've heard and seen this with some social media influencers. Mm-hmm. And even think about a radio host who's a 1-person radio show that's super popular, like Dr. Laura.
Yeah.
If you think about what's going on, she's sitting with maybe a producer, 1 person by herself in a studio.
Yes.
But she's talking to tens of millions of people at the same time.
Yes.
So you think like they're all extroverted and they like that are all these things, and it's a different thing, isn't it? To talking to a mic with no one there is totally different.
Yes. Well, and you and I have our own flow, our own banter, and then obviously when you bring other people into it, it's just a slightly different dynamic.
Yes.
So I don't know. That was interesting and surprising to me, but I loved when we pushed ourselves to do. We did 2 different live events. We did one at Half Liter, and then we did one out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and they were so much fun.
They were so fun. Weren't those awesome? We had Joey Molinaro on there.
Oh my God, that was so cool.
You know, he's really, really popular now.
I know.
Like, he's like on all those big sports shows, and he's really popular.
We got so lucky.
And we got him. Sales Unscripted interviewed Joey Molinaro. Look him up.
He came in, and he just
he's so great, isn't he?
He's great. Comedians are so good at thinking on their feet.
I know.
Like, they would make great salespeople, honestly.
They really would. And great salespeople, you should take like a stand-up class or an improv class.
Totally.
Did you take improv as a theater kid?
Not really improv, no.
Oh, didn't you really?
We didn't do a lot of that. It was like, we might have a little bit of that stuff like when we were doing scene work where you were like, stay open to it, you know, whatever. Yes, and you know, that sort of thing. But ours was more like, oh yeah, we've got like a script we're following.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I bet you were great at improv stuff.
I was. I
think you did it in college, right?
Yeah, I did. I did. Well, I took acting class. So I took T120 at IU, and the guy, this was funny the way he said it. The teacher at the end, you know, it's the guy with a master's degree in theater, tells each of the students some things, like some feedback sort of things. He gets to me and said, "You're just really not cut out for acting. It's just not your jam. But you're one of the best improv people I've ever seen."
Oh, great.
Sort of thing. I'm like, well, thanks, dude. I'll take that. You know what I mean? So. You won't be seeing me reading any dialogue anytime soon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, is that enough?
I think that's
Happy
enough.
100, girl.
I know.
Awesome. Good
Listen,
shit, huh?
I'm proud of us.
Isn't that
Way
fun?
to go. And
100 episodes in.
For the people who have been following along, I also have to give a special shout out. We've got a lot of awesome fans and followers. I have to give a special one to my friend Mariah Bear. She messaged me like when we were between our 99th and 100th, and she was like, I am anticipating and so excited for your 100th episode in the next year. And I was like, it's our 100th episode. I totally kind of forgot about it. So
we all kind of blend together,
Mariah.
You know, we're past. So we're going to 1,000 now.
Let's go.
We'll probably stop and celebrate in between there.
Yeah.
So. Okay, that's it. We'll see you
later.
Bye.